skinned, minced, deboned. Murder most macabre. A killing so gruesome that it makes your innermost core numb with horror. It is the murder of Bangladesh Member of Parliament Anwarul Azim Anar, who had travelled to Kolkata on 12th May and reportedly went missing a day later. He was found dead in Newtown 10 days later on 22nd May. The CID West Bengal detained one person on Thursday evening for his alleged involvement in the murder of the 56-year-old MP, whose murder has sent shivers down the spine of many across the subcontinent. The man who murdered the MP has been identified as a 24-year-old illegal Bangladeshi immigrant called Jihad Hawladar, a butcher by profession who was living in Mumbai. The case unfolded like this. The Bangladeshi parliamentarian Anwarul Azim Anar reportedly arrived in Kolkata on 12th May to undergo medical treatment and stayed with a man called Gopal Biswas in North Kolkata. Biswas smelt a rat when Anar went incommunicado after he left his Baranagar residence for a doctor's appointment in the afternoon of 13th May, while stating that he will be back home for dinner. But he didn't turn up, and it was 4 days. Enter a businessman called Akhtaruzzman Shaheen, who arrived in Kolkata, and it is here that this US resident, who apparently had a long-standing dispute with the deceased, planned the murder by paying close to 5 crores. Well, Anar, the deceased, himself had a dubious reputation and was alleged to have been involved in smuggling. Apart from Jihad Hawladar, Akhtaruzzman allegedly hired 4 others to murder Anar in a flat in Newtown. The police suspect that Anar was possibly lured into Kolkata's Newtown flat by a woman, honey trap, and then murdered by contract killers. Here enters another character in the murder, and that I spoke about, the honey trap, a woman called Shilasti Rehman, said to have been in a relationship with Shaheen. Authorities believe she was used as a honey trap to lure MP Anar to his death, and the involvement became apparent when the intelligence department of the Dhaka Metropolitan Police arrested and interrogated her. It is in this flat in Newtown, after allegedly being honey trapped by Shilasti Rehman, that Anwarul Anar was killed in the most gruesome fashion by hired killers. The MP was first strangulated, then they de-skinned his entire body in the flat, removed all the flesh and minced the flesh to destroy the identity. Thereafter, they packed everything in a poly bag, cut the bones into small pieces and packed them as well. The accused then used various modes of transportation to dispose of those packets at different locations within the Kolkata area. Lots of reactions, horror on this case. Meanwhile, BJP leader Shubhendu Adhikari had said that he blames the Mamata government for the law and order situation in West Bengal, which is bizarre.
बंगाल में कानून का स्थिति नहीं है। ममता बनर्जी की सरकार गुंडा को संरक्षण दे रहा है और पुलिस टीएमसी का काम कर रहा है, इसलिए ये हो रहा है, बदनाम हो रहा है देश में। बंगाल में कानून का स्थिति नहीं है। ममता बनर्जी की सरकार गुंडा को संरक्षण दे रहा है और पुलिस टीएमसी का काम कर रहा है, इसलिए ये हो रहा है, बदनाम हो रहा है देश में।
Just because the MP was a parliamentarian in Bangladesh doesn't mean that this is all about local politics. Of course, it's election time, everyone is going to gun for the other. If this isn't a murder most foul, which makes one shudder, then what it is? To speak on this, I am being joined by Saleem Samad, independent journalist and rights defender in Bangladesh. Mr. Samad, thank you so much for joining us on this broadcast, Mr. Samad. You know, you have to unmute yourself, sir. I can't hear you. That's Saleem Samad, who's joining us. He's an independent journalist and rights defender from Bangladesh. He's joining us to speak about the MP Anar's gruesome, macabre death in Kolkata, where he was skinned, minced, and deboned. Mr. Samad, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. You can hear me?
Namaskar, sir.
Namaskar.
I want to ask you, this is a murder most gruesome. It's a murder most macabre. Condolences to his family, whatever, but, just take us through what are the points where you feel that, there is also rumor that he was a smuggler, allegedly, that he had a business dispute with Shaheen, etc., then enters Miss Rehman, who used him as a honey trap. So, Saleem Samad, sir, can you just take us through, it's almost like a crime waiting to happen.
Thank you for having me.
Pleasure.
First of all, I would go straight into the background and what really happened. First of all, the gentleman that we are talking about, the lawmaker, he was earlier arrested for gold smuggling. And he was a petty ruling party leader of a local area. And incidentally, he was thrice elected as a member of parliament from his constituency in Jihad. In fact, his case against and his arrest and the case of gold smuggling was deleted or it was erased when he became an MP. So possibly that was a bargain with the government that if you have to nominate me, if I get elected, you have to get away this delete or the case should be squashed in the court. And it was squashed and there was no arrest warrant against him. So everything was there, even his accomplices were all released from the prison. So when he became the member of parliament, that was the only time he was very, very popular in his region, and he knew the skill how to reach the people. Because every time somebody had died, and he personally visited the family to pay condolence. So that is one of the reasons he was very, very popular with the people. So he got a very good vote. I mean, despite you may have heard that in the last election there was a very the turnout in the election was very poor, but he really reasonably got a very good vote. So that is the background, number one. Number two, he was definitely involved in trade, in business, and of course, this cross-border trade. And he has a business establishment in Kolkata. So it is nothing very strange that he was not in this business. And he also has gold business, jewelry business in the capital Dhaka, in a very high, in a posh area. So you can understand that he had been involved with and yes, you're right that his partner, the 4,000 crore taka worth of gold that has been alleged that he had pilfered or has stolen and did not give share or to the partner as well as to other beneficiaries.
Okay.
So that is one of the, you can understand the anger, the vengeance against the lawmaker by his partner or those who are responsible for the murder.
So basically, he did not give the payback, and therefore you think the crime happened because Shaheen decided to teach him a lesson. But a murder so gruesome, Samad Saab? A murder gruesome?
Lesson, not to give him a lesson. It just wanted to, because he refused to pay. So that is what has been now being surfaced. That he refused to share because he was refusing to share the money not on the day of the murder. He had been refusing this for months.
Okay.
So that was where he had it. And again, according to the Indian government's statistics, that 400 more than 4 tons. I cannot translate in kilogram. The kilogram of gold that has been smuggled through the porous border. Despite you see the barbed wire all over the country,
right?
But there are dozens, scores of porous borders. So
all right.
And that guy, this lawmaker, he had a lot of interest that his town is just on the border.
No,
so
but Samad sir, yeah, I know that he has a very, very questionable past. He was allegedly a smuggler. You are saying that you know, he did not pay, you know, what was due, if I may use that word, to Shaheen. But what a gruesome murder, Saleem Samad Sahab. I mean, to, you know, debone him, skin removed, cut him into pieces. It looks like there is a lot of anger in this. This is not just revenge. There is that I will teach you a lesson that no one should find even a part of your body.
Okay, I agree with you.
Okay.
The vengeance has nothing to do with vengeance here. It is actually, you're right, that because they had failed to realize their share of the booty.
Right.
So
Yeah.
obviously you can understand this has happened.
All right,
And
sir.
it reminds
Yeah.
me of the journalist, that the Saudi Arabian journalist Adnan Khashoggi, who was also been skinned and chopped off, and his body was never found in Istanbul.
Right.
So I would definitely would not relate, but yes, gruesome murders has happened in the last several years, even in Bangladesh. Earlier, there are other issues of
Right.
the body has
Also,
never been found,
yeah, also the chief
and
of the
of course,
detective.
most of the bodies. Sorry,
Yes, yes,
most
sir.
of the bodies that has not been found or they've been just vanished is all the people who were perpetrators that had political connections.
All right. They have political connections. There is also a criminal past, as it were. But you know, Bangladesh has been reporting, and the detective branch chief, Mohammad Rashid, I think that's his name, if I'm not wrong. He's been, you know, quoted as saying, Mohammad Rashid, he says that Shimul Buyan, a leader of Purbo Banglar Communist Party, changed his name as Amanullah and obtained a passport to carry out the killing in Kolkata and dodge the law enforcers. Is this what the police has now, is this what the police is talking about? That it is, you know, pegging it on Purbo Banglar Communist Party, sir?
Pulwala Communist Party was actually they did not believe in that Communist Party did not believe in the existence of Bangladesh. So they renamed it as East Bengal, which is in Purvanga. So that is another issue. So they were all underground, and they were so. And after an amnesty means a definite amnesty. Which
Right.
so Simul was also took that advantage, but most of the Purvanga Communist Party for the last, I mean, they do not exist anymore because all the leaders have been
All right.
released, and they
Yeah,
are in the mainstream.
also the DB chief has revealed that the initial plan to carry out the crime was in Bangladesh, but they said that there was such a surveillance on them, that's why they came to Kolkata. I mean, they could have shared the details with Kolkata police, and we needn't have had such a gruesome murder. Saleem Samad Saab?
I fully, this is right. I mean, he had to deploy and hire dozens of people to organize this gruesome murder.
Saleem Samad Saab, thank you so much for joining us on this broadcast. Thank you indeed for throwing light on the different aspects of it. Thank you, sir.